what you saw in Chicago is their annual conference. So any venue that they would have booked by NWJ would have been much larger.
For many years, Harris Faulkner has been a prominent figure in the field of journalism. Her authoritative demeanor and astute reporting have made her a regular figure on Fox News since 2005, and she has won 6 Emmys for her work. From Fox Report Weekend to Outnumbered, a show with 4 female hosts and 1 male guest, she has hosted them all. Harris just got her own program, The Faulkner Focus, which is a feather in her crown. Something has changed, however, and now some are asking whether Harris Faulkner is no longer affiliated with Fox News. Come along with us as we discover the reality of the situation and put an end to the speculation. To set the scene, however, let's examine her early career, from military to broadcasting. Harris Faulkner's path to become a news journalist started long before she ever appeared on camera. Harris grew up in a military household after being born on October 13, 1965 in Atlanta, Georgia's Fort McPherson. Her father, Lieutenant Colonel Bobby R. Harris, retired after 3 deployments in Vietnam as an Army pilot. Harris spent his childhood bouncing about from place to place, including a Stuttgart, West Germany U.S. military installation. Her unique perspective on life and her strong work ethic were both shaped by her upbringing on the move, which would ultimately lead to a successful career in journalism. Harris received her bachelor's degree in mass communications from UC Santa Barbara. However, her first forays into the workforce were far from glamorous. She started off as a freelance business writer for LA Weekly, making $50 for each story. Her enthusiasm and determination were inspired by her modest beginning. Soon after, she decided she wanted more out of her work and decided to seek a career in television. While interning at KCOP TV in Los Angeles, Harris scored her first TV job and began laying the groundwork for her future career in the business with menial chores. She quickly relocated to Greenville, North Carolina, to take a job as WNCT TV's reporter and anchor. When Harris became the nighttime anchor at Kansas City's WDF-TV in 1992, her career took a dramatic shift. Nevertheless, she had difficulties throughout her tenure there. When an old friend of hers from North Carolina started pursuing and harassing her, she had a terrible encounter. Harris remained resolute in the face of these personal obstacles. She persisted in her professional pursuits until, in July 2004, she departed from her position as an evening anchor at KSTP-TV in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Harris got her big break in 2005 when she became a member of Fox News. How she spent time on Fox News. A current affair, which had been restored, had a brief run before being canceled later that year. She had been a reporter for the show. Despite this, Harris resumed her meteoric rise to the position of sole network newscaster, and she did so from 2011 until 2017 on Fox Report Weekend. Harris demonstrated her adaptability and abilities as an anchor by filling in for Fox's most famous faces, including Martha MacCallum and Shepard Smith. Prior to Greg Gutfeld's departure from the late-night satirical program Red Eye with Greg Gutfeld, she became a known figure on several shows, including regular guest appearances on that show. Harris joined the cast of Outnumbered in 2014, a program that has 4 female presenters and a male guest discussing current events in an animated format. With the 2017 premiere of Outnumbered Overtime, which prioritizes hard news over discussions, she went a step further. Harris maintained her impressive performance at Fox and premiered her own program, The Faulkner Focus, which aired weekdays at 11 a.m. in 2021. After Tucker Carlson left Fox News Tonight in June 2023, she hosted the show as a guest. Harris made strong remarks throughout her presentation, denouncing what she perceives as social and religious assaults. She spoke out strongly, saying, "Women and children are being redesigned by some sort of mad leftist science experiment," and she added a patriotic touch by saying she was from the United States of America. Harris Faulkner has shown again and again that she is more than simply a journalist in her many jobs. She is a strong advocate who isn't hesitant to speak her mind on controversial issues. An innovative mind in the field of journalism. For many years, Harris Faulkner has been a major player in the journalistic industry. In 2005, Faulkner made Fox News her home. She has won 6 Emmys for her work as an anchor. Her extensive coverage includes everything from devastating Midwest floods to hurricanes in the east and severe northern snowstorms. Faulkner has reported live from huge events, including the second-largest state fair in the country, and has hosted hour-long town halls on controversial subjects like racial profiling, in addition to weather catastrophes. It didn't take long for Faulkner's enthusiasm and dedication to journalism to shine through. A personal slogan she expressed in a 2006 Fox News segment introducing her was, "My life's goal, inspire before I expire." This is an objective she has been successfully achieving, particularly with the release of the Faulkner Focus in 2021. She is a prominent journalist whose influence is only expanding, and this program is only one of several jobs that showcase it. Even while many people recognize her from her TV appearances, there is a lot more to her biography that is unknown to many. Being the first black female daytime anchor for Fox News is one of the most notable parts of Faulkner's career. She started her career in the Midwest, where she was an anchor at KSTP-TV in Minnesota for 4 years before going on to Kansas Metropolis, Missouri, from 1992 to 2000. Now she reports from the big metropolis. Faulkner takes great pride in her heritage and the perseverance that brought her to her current position. Her ascent is about more than only herself and her goals, as she previously said in an interview with the Canadian magazine In Between. Seeing a black woman perform alone on a stage created just for her performance is a powerful, essential, and symbolic representation of genuine progress. Furthermore, I would not be serving as an anchor for Fox News if I did not feel appreciated. It is not Faulkner's career that matters, but rather what she stands for, and this comment exemplifies her attitude. Yet the path taken by Harris Faulkner is not just one of overcoming obstacles, it is also one of disproving expectations. A shocking and motivating voice. People often assume her opinion since she is a black woman working for a conservative news agency. Faulkner, however, remains unfazed. She views it as a chance to pique people's curiosity. When anybody looks at you and looks at your position and thinks they know who you are, you have the advantage of being able to surprise them, she remarked in an interview with the Associated Press in 2020. Her intellectual approach, resilience, and devotion to truth never fail to amaze. Her co-workers have a lot of respect for Faulkner. She gained plaudits for her methodical approach when interviewing former President Trump during the Black Lives Matter marches. Interestingly, Bill Gruskin of the Columbia Journalism Review praised Faulkner's distinctive manner, stating, "She was neither antagonistic nor admiring. Rather, she contributed to the discussion by drawing on her experiences as a mom and a black woman, which gave her an approachable quality that is rare among journalists." In response to this admiration, Faulkner humbly reflected, "The facts, the truth, the strength, that's what journalists are supposed to do." Faulkner has covered some of the most consequential events in the world's history, including the AIDS epidemic in South Africa, the abduction of Natalie Holloway in Aruba, and the bombing in Oklahoma City. These events, combined with her parents' influences and those of famous people like Barbara Walters, Nelson Mandela, and Oprah Winfrey, have molded her into the person she is today. Journalism isn't only a profession for Harris Faulkner, it's an opportunity to make a difference, to motivate others, to question conventional wisdom, and to shock and astonish them. Is her adventure over? She's doing more than simply reading the news. She's having an effect. Examining her background will help us find out what's really going on. Put your family first with Harris Faulkner. When Harris Faulkner isn't covering the news, she's devoted to her loved ones. Tony Berlin has been her husband for 18 years, and the couple has 2 kids, Bella and Danica. No matter how hectic his life becomes, Faulkner can always count on Berlin to be there for him. He started his own public relations firm in addition to becoming her partner. In response to a question on how she manages it all, Faulkner said, "There is no secret or magic potion to balancing life. It's about just finding the right answers every single day." Faulkner lauded Berlin as a solid partner, but acknowledged that they sometimes had to figure things out as they go. The manner Faulkner and Berlin are bringing up their kids mirrors the diverse heritage of their families. Thanks to Berlin's Jewish background, their daughters are exposed to Jewish practices, even though they are generally reared in a Christian context. You are the example of what society can do together if we all pulled together in a unified way, Faulkner says to her girls. These aren't only religious remarks, they are an attempt by Faulkner to demonstrate to her daughters the strength that comes from working together, even in a world where we feel so divided. Faulkner isn't afraid to have difficult talks with her girls as they become older. Her goal is to instill in them the qualities of strength, resilience, and self-assurance. That every woman should have the attitude that she instills in her daughters, that she is an incredibly important piece of every puzzle they walk into, is something Faulkner thinks all women should have. However, you may not be aware that Harris Faulkner is not just a television personality, but also a best-selling novelist, influence, and writer. Her 2 novels are an expression of her beliefs and the lessons she has learned. Even a New York Times bestseller, 9 Rules of Engagement, A Military Brat's Guide to Life and Success, was one of her books. Faulkner's perspective on life was greatly influenced by her military background. Honesty, seeing projects through to completion, and helping people at all times are values instilled in her by her father, a soldier who fought for his family. These teachings are intricately interwoven throughout Faulkner's works. In addition to sharing personal stories, she utilizes her platform to pay tribute to military personnel, both current and retired, as well as their families. The tales of the military community are kept front and center by Faulkner, who is a passionate champion for them via her writing, speeches, and charitable activities. Still, there is no comparison to the depth of Harris Faulkner's commitment to her father. She formally changed her name in his honor, if you were unaware. Her father, Bob Harris, was a combat pilot and Vietnam veteran, and he was an inspiration to her as a child. Faulkner took advantage of the opportunity to take his surname as her own since he was known as Harris among his military group. A testament to her dad's never-quit mentality, which she embodies in her work every day, this name change was more than just that. Though he left this world in December 2020, Faulkner has ensured that her father's legacy will endure. Praise God, love America and all Americans, especially when we don't agree. Do all you can for those who can offer you nothing more than their company. She shared her family's credo on Instagram in his honor, celebrating the occasion. All of Faulkner's motivation, principles, and achievements seem to stem from the things her dad instilled in her. These intimate moments, whether in her motherly or daughterly roles, show that Harris Faulkner is a storyteller, an innovator, and a woman devoted to her principles. She is more than just a newscaster. Who is Harris Faulkner, and what does he love? Besides being a news anchor, Harris Faulkner is a devoted wife, mother, and Kansas City Chiefs enthusiast. Beyond her family, Harris's passion for football has no bounds, particularly for the Kansas City Chiefs, the club she was born and raised rooting for. She continues to display her Chiefs' love even though she lives in New Jersey. On game days, she wears her team apparel and decorates her home office with Chiefs memorabilia. Her Chiefs-themed room is so crowded that not even her husband's sports memorabilia fits. She joked that he's only permitted a rug and a few pieces of wall art. By the way, did you know that in 1999, Harris had a really unforgettable experience when she sang the national anthem to the tune of 70,000 Souls at Arrowhead Stadium? It was all because to her deep connection to her heritage and her love for her country. Even now, she thinks back on this time with fondness. Speaking of interests, Harris enjoys traveling and spending time in nature when she isn't working or taking care of her family. Her honeymoon in Hawaii, which she characterized as a tranquil haven with stunning scenery, was her most cherished vacation. Sedona, Arizona is her second home, and she and her family love to spend time there hiking, relaxing at spas, and doing other outdoor activities. Other beautiful places that Harris enjoys visiting include Montauk, New York, Acadia National Park in Maine, and Crane Beach in Barbados. The convenience of living on the East Coast allows the family to easily take road vacations, and they often take advantage of these excursions. Whether it's going on a hike with her loved ones, lounging in her garden, or even just taking a stroll on the beach, Harris finds peace and quiet in nature. Getting in touch with nature is important to her. Therefore, she often takes off her shoes to do just that. She finds a feeling of stability and resets at these periods. "I like to let my feet hit the earth," is a quote that captures her humble nature and the happiness she derives from everyday experiences. Legal wars and sketches from Saturday Night Live. Harris Faulkner has become a well-known character, thanks to her prominent profession and dynamic personality. She has even garnered the attention of Saturday Night Live. Leslie Jones played Harris on the program in 2018, and she was spot on with her appearance and demeanor. That was nice for Harris, who thought it strange at first, but it got even better when Jones came back later that year looking even more like her. Harris made fun of how well they portrayed her unique style and ice blue clothing, expressing her admiration. "I can throw a side eye too. It's not all about the humor, Leslie," she said, adding that she could be amenable to Jones portraying her in a more somber part in The Road. But not all attempts at mimicry were dismissed. Unexpectedly, Harris got into a spat with Hasbro in 2015 over their Littlest Pet Shop brand of hamsters that exploited her name. Rather than finding it funny, Harris took legal action, suing the toy company, claiming that they had used her picture and name without her permission and had harmed her credibility as a journalist. The suit brought attention to the fact that the doll was so lifelike in its portrayal of her, down to the cosmetic details. After Harris's resistance, the lawsuit was finally resolved in 2016, and the toy was subsequently discontinued. Harris was quite outspoken about her disapproval of the use of her name in that context and her determination to defend her reputation. We will now address the question that everyone is waiting for. How is Harris Faulkner's situation at Fox News actually progressing? One of the most famous faces on Fox News, Harris Faulkner, has been the subject of much conjecture as of late. There have been whispers that she may be quitting the network after fans noted she has been absent from her regular TV appearances. So what's the deal? Is this a brief hiatus, or has she really departed? The Faulkner Focus and Outnumbered are hosted by Harris Faulkner, who has been a member of Fox News since 2005. Town Hall America is her political talk program. On the other hand, her recent relative absence from screen time, particularly on Outnumbered, has agitated some viewers. Harris often takes a break from the program due to the revolving roster of guests. Everyone was discussing about how her recent absence seemed longer than normal. The fact that Harris was conspicuously missing from her two primary programs for a while sparked some of the suspicion. Her replacement by fellow Fox commentators Kennedy and Tammy Bruce on Outnumbered was particularly obvious. Many were concerned that something more severe may be happening. An Instagram user expressing worry wrote, "Miss you on your show and Outnumbered. Is she planning to return? I implore you, just take a vacation." Harris had other commitments at the time the reports were circulating. She went to Chicago at the end of August to cover the Democratic National Convention of 2024. While traveling for election coverage, she took to Instagram to share her experience and express her gratitude to her loved ones and crew. She has been absent from her presentations for some time, and her travels are the reason why. Keeping up with her regular on-air obligations may be challenging when she has to devote so much time and energy to covering big events like the DNC. Plus, Harris flits from city to city, so it's understandable that she couldn't attend every show. Outnumbered is shot in New York. Another indication that her absence was only brief was the announcement of her return on the Faulkner Focus official Facebook page, which said, "She's back. Stay tuned for tomorrow's 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. ET episodes." Fans may rest easy knowing Harris was staying put after this. Just like everyone else, she's been busy and may have needed a break in between all the big events. Harris is busy with other things outside of her television series, too. Additionally, she had a number of public speaking engagements planned, including a fundraising event in Florida on September 8th, which required her to leave New York once again. Her schedule seems to be rather full, so she may be taking a break before returning to her normal hosting responsibilities. Harris Faulkner. What's coming up next? No concrete proof of Harris's departure from Fox News has surfaced as of yet. Her continued participation in LinkedIn and her return to the Faulkner Focus both demonstrate her dedication to her job. Furthermore, her lengthy association with Fox News makes a permanent departure almost improbable. Harris Faulkner clearly loves both her career and her admirers. She manages to keep in touch with her fans despite her hectic schedule by posting personal comments and behind-the-scenes photos on social media. Comments like, "I miss you at 11 a.m." demonstrate how ready her followers are for her return to the radio. Dear Harris, I hope everything is well with you. You are the finest and I love you. I hope that puts your mind at ease if you've been worried about the lack of Harris's Fox News appearances. She has no plans to vanish anytime soon. Taking a break from reporting major political events and focusing on other endeavors seems to be her excuse. Harris is coming back, and she'll be bringing her vibrant personality and keen observations to your televisions again. Harris Faulkner has been noticeably absent from Fox News as of late. What do you believe may be the true reason behind this? Leave a comment with your ideas, and if you want to read more frightening tales, subscribe.